Welcome back to the Open Wheel Offline League Season 5, Round 10. We're already halfway through the season, and we are just about to get underway for qualifying. Let's take a look at the drivers taking part in this group. We got the number 9 of Connor Zilich coming off a heartbreaking defeat at Spa. Justin Allgaier, your winner at Spa, came in a little fluky way to get a first win, but a win's a win. Robbie Lohr, Chet Jordan, Benjamin Peterson, Marcus Armstrong looking for 3 straight poles. Lindsey Brewer, Mahavir Raghunathan, Ryan Preece, Alessio Deletta, Lawless Allen, Nico Hulkenberg, Globler Lohr, and David Malukas. So Chet Jordan, first one to take to the track here in Zandvoort, new circuit to the schedule. Silly Men Racing coming off a tough weekend at Spa. Qualified first and fourth, finished 23rd and 27th. No fault of the drivers, just bad luck, taken out by other drivers. Take a look at your weather in the session. 66 degrees, 7-mile-per-hour wind speed, partly cloudy, and then humidity at 71%. As Chet Jordan goes around the car that took him out at Spa, old teammate Mahavir Raghunathan, been out for blood against this team. It's a very fast flowing circuit here at Zandvoort. Some high speed turns, some low speed turns. It's quite an interesting layout. Some turns have banking, like turn 3, that looks like the cars are slingshotting, and then the final turn, the Yari Lyondike turn. Very fast, very high speed right now. Chet Jordan might be getting a little bit of draft help off the 18 of Robbie Lohr in front of him. Robbie hasn't had a good last few outings, so he'd like to turn it around starting with qualifying today, as Chet Jordan sets the time to beat 108.5. Gonna have to see how Lindsey Brewer responds. Gonna go second, 111.1. Benjamin Peterson gonna back that up, 111.2. Marcus Armstrong looking for 3 straight road course poles, coming around the final turn, down the front stretch, and that's gonna go P2. Just 3/10 slower than teammate Chet Jordan. As here comes the 00 of Globler Lohr. He's only going to go to 5th. David Malukas got his first podium of the season. First top 10, actually. So maybe his season's starting to turn around as a pink third sector. But yet that lap does not count for whatever reason. That lap is disallowed as Robbie goes third. Chet Jordan not going to go better. Mahavir Raghunathan going to be coming around the final turn. And to the line here, going to go 6th, which is the time to beat now. Lindsey Brewer goes a little bit better. Benjamin Peterson not going to go up as Justin Allgaier, defending winner, goes third. That's going to put Peterson on the cut line with a 111.2. Preece and Armstrong come to the line. Preece going to go 4th, made his first Fast 6 at Spa, as Nico Hulkenberg really holding up this number 9 of Connor Zilich. Hulkenberg got his first career top 10 at Spa. These are not going to be quick laps. Zilich 10th, Hulkenberg 11th. Number 9's going to go by there. Glubler comes to the line, not better. David Malukas is actually on a better lap all the way around, but it's only going to go to 7th, 500th slower than Lindsey Brewer. Robbie Lohr goes up to 4th. He needed a good run. Deletta goes 8th. Not quite good enough. Mahavir Raghunathan going to be coming around the final turn. It's not going to be a better lap. Peterson down in 9th. He comes into the pits. Justin Allgaier going to go a bit quicker but stays in 3rd. Lawless Allen, only car without a lap, only going to go to 11th. Teammate Ryan Preece in 5th. He's going to bump his way up to 3rd. Connor Zilich, time to beat is a 1:10.8 set by Lindsey Brewer. See what lap this is. Looks to be pretty good to the line. And it's going to go 3rd quickest. So Robbie Lohr now on the cut line with a 1:10.5. Glubler, Robbie's brother, not able to go quicker. David Malukas, does he have anything? No, he's going to come into the pits. Deleta's going to come to the line. Is it better? Not good enough. 7th, 2/10 slower. Raghunathan, will he come in this time? Yes, he will. You're going to be wanting to exit at the latest about 8:45 on the clock, as Lawless Allen going to come to the line, only goes 10th. I think if you're on an outlap right around now, you should be well and safe. Robbie Lohr going to be exiting the pits. He wants to make sure that he advances to round 2. I think he's maybe only advanced once this season, all the way back at Motegi. Hulkenberg to the line. That lap did not count for whatever reason. Deleta going to come around the Arlie Dyke turn. Does not go quicker. Armstrong going to get to the line. He's going to want another lap just for extra, more of muscle flexing for that one, I'd say. Lawless Allen not going to be able to make that back. Hulkenberg currently down in 14th, looking at a 27th place start. This is where it stands. So Raghunathan's going to get another lap, and Robbie is going to be the last one to come around, so only Armstrong and Raghunathan and Robbie are going to be on laps. Raghunathan currently down in 12th, trying to bump his way in, coming off Team Canada Dry's best result ever with a 5th place finish. First sector looks better, but he's going to need to find about a second. Not impossible. He has clean track ahead. Armstrong going to go a bit quicker, but still not able to surpass Chet Jordan as the 24 stays on top. Robbie not looking better in the first sector. Raghunathan not as quick in sector 2. Through the final 2 turns, let's see if he has enough. To the line, it's going to be close, but not quite able to get there. Goes up to 9th. So Robbie will survive and make it to another round 2. Did not go better. Just a couple tenths slower, but Chet Jordan leads the way in round 1 Group A. So, once again, the two Silly Men racing cars will advance out of round one. Chad Jordan leads Marcus Armstrong. Connor Zilich gonna go third. Ryan Preece in fourth, trying to make it back to the Fast Six. Defending winner Justin Allgaier will go fifth. And then Robbie Lohr will squeeze into the last spot in sixth. So those eliminated, Alessio Deletta will be starting 13th, with teammate Lindsey Brewer right behind in 15th. 17th for Mahavir Raghunathan, one of the better road course qualifying efforts for that team. David Malukas coming off his first podium, only going to get a 19th place grid start. 21st for the 92 of Lawless Allen. 23rd, a pretty disappointing qualifying effort for Benjamin Peterson. 25th will be the 00 of Glover Lohr, just hasn't had good luck at qualifying lately. And then rounding out this group, going to be starting 27th, is the 95 of Nico Hulkenberg. So that's it for round one, Group A. We'll be back in just a moment for round one, Group B. Back for round one, Group B. Here are the 14 drivers taking part. Points leader Shane Van Gisbergen, currently 70 points up in the championship. Gonna see if he can get back to pole today. Carlos Huertas, Louis Foster, Nolan Siegel, Miles Rowe, Dorian Pinn, Francesco Draconi, Tinkle McStinkle, Devlin DiFrancesco, Ethan Martz, Stingray Robb, Guy Gagne, Dawa Tenzin, and Brennan Hubbard, coming off his second podium of the season. Finishing second at Spa. I think that might be his best road course result in his career. As Dorian Pinn will be the first car to go out. Let's ride alongside her. might be getting a little bit of a tow from a teammate in front, but also might be getting a little bit of dirty air. She's closing in pretty quickly, so this may be some teammate on teammate crime. Swindlers of the Immortals have won 7 out of 9 of the races to start the season. Absolutely dominant. Only one win for Banshees of Little Miami and one win for Silly Men Racing. As Miles Rowe actually going to have the fastest first sector, but he's also in a bit of predicament. He's behind the 76 of Ethan Martz, coming off his second best result of the season. As Dorian Pinn going to come to the line, first lap of 1:12.5. Jane Van Gisbergen, no surprise, has a pink in the first sector. As Miles Rowe going to come to the line, going to be a 1:13.0. Dawa Tenzin, he's going to be a bit slower, 1:14.7. As Shane Van Gisbergen, 2 pinks in the first 2 sectors. Gonna have to see what that equals. It's gonna be pretty good, 1:08.4. Best time in the last group was a 1:08.5, so a little bit ahead of their pace. Here comes Draconi to the line. It's gonna be a 1:11.6. That's gonna put him in second. Louis Foster and Dorian Pinn now coming around. See what kind of speed they have. Foster gonna get to the line. It's only gonna be good enough for third. Pinn not gonna go better. They may have gotten a little held up by the 53. Been causing all sorts of problems. Stingray Rob to the line. This is gonna put him 6 on the cutoff with a 1:14.0. Ethan Martz gonna break in with a 1:12.3. Miles Rowe now on the cutoff, but now Brennan Hubbard gonna bump him out as he goes 1:11.7. Dorian Pinn now on the cut with a 1:12.5. Devlin goes only 9th. Carlos Huertas trying to make his first round 2. Battling side by side with Van Gisbergen. He's going to go 3rd. As Nolan Siegel going to go 2nd with a 1:09.2. Right now Louis Foster on the cutoff 1:12.1. As Draconi gonna come to the line 1:10.5. So looking pretty good so far for the 2 Banshees of Little Miami cars. Gagne gonna go 4th. That's gonna bump out Foster. Now he's gonna be trying to break in, but this is a good lap right here. This is gonna help him a lot. That's gonna put him 3rd. That's gonna bump out Brennan Hubbard. Dorian Pinn comes into the pits. We'll probably see her back out again as the 53 only gonna be able to muster 14th. Stingray Rob gonna come around, and that's gonna shoot him up to 5th, 1:11.0. He's had good 1-lap pace recently, but hasn't been able to break in, but Hubbard goes 4th. So now Stingray on the cutoff with a 1:11.0. Will that hold? Devlin only gonna be able to bump up to 11th. Right now Dorian Pinn all the way down in 12th. To the line, neither of these guys go quicker. Nolan Siegel gonna find a little bit more speed. He's not too far off the number 1 now. Draconi, wouldn't be surprised if he comes in this time. Yes, he will. Gagne looking good through the first 2 sectors. To the line. This is gonna put him in 3rd. That's gonna bump out Stingray. No round 2 appearances for the Magenta Trees so far this season. Dorian Pinn going to be going back out there. Right now she is way down the order. Stingray Rob going to stay out this time, try and find more speed, not going to be in there. The 53 goes a bit quicker, but still way off the pace. Reminder, you probably want to be out before 8:45 on the clock, I'd say. Pinn right now the only one out there, or even exiting the pits. Devlin not going to go quicker. Tenzin and Siegel will come in. Huertas stays out. Gagne going to come in this time. As the 10 is on pit exit, he's going to be pretty close with the line. I don't think he's going to be able to make it. But the 43 might be coming out into more traffic. We're going to have to see what happens with Dorian Pin here. This would be a surprise if she doesn't even qualify anywhere close. Stinkle McStinkle goes quicker once again. Devlin, I assume, is probably coming in this time. Yes, he will be. Dorian Pin not quicker in the first sector. Uh-oh. And right now checking up because of the 37 of Miles Rowe, making life difficult for her. Second sector not quicker. The checker flag going to come out. Louis Foster not going to get there, so it's pretty much the 43 and 53 are the only cars out there. As Dorian Pin going to get by there, but this lap not going to be better. She is going to qualify deep in the field. Yeah, just a little bit slower than the 53, last car to come around. Not going to make an impact, comes into the pits. But that is it for round one, Group B. A few surprises there, but no surprise at the top. Shane Van Gisbergen, your quickest car, followed by Nolan Siegel and his teammate Guy Gagne. Louis Foster going to take the fourth spot. Fifth will be the 99 of Brennan Hubbard, trying to back up second place at Spa. Then the last car to advance will be the 49 of Francesco Draconi, the only Banshees of Little Miami car to see round two today. So then you're eliminated starting 14th. It's going to be the 77 of Stingray Rob, his best road course qualifying effort of the season. Carlos Huertas going to put it 16th. Ethan Martz 18th. 20th for the 37 Miles Rowe. 22nd for Devlin DeFrancesco. But the real story, down in 24th, Dorian Pin in the 43. That is not, that is pretty surprising. Dawa Tenzin will be in 26th, and then the 53 of Tinkle McStinkle will be at the back of the grid. But some serious shocks in that group. So that is it for round one. We'll be back in just a moment for round two. back for round 2 here at Zandvoort. These are the 12 drivers that advanced: Shane Van Gisbergen, Connor Zilic, Louis Foster, Justin Allgaier, Robbie Lohr, Nolan Siegel, Chad Jordan, Marcus Armstrong, Francesco Draconi, Ryan Preece, Guy Gagne, and Brennan Hubbard. So a few shock eliminations in round 1. Gonna have to see if that continues into round 2. As first car to go out is the 10 of, actually, I believe it's the 49 of Francesco Draconi. Yes, it is. Let's go alongside with him. As a number 10, not wasting any time, try to get around the 49. The 10 of Louis Foster been very consistent, but not in the way to make the fast 6. He's been placing himself row 4 for pretty much most of the season. And trying to change that here today. This is the midway point of the European leg of the season. Qualified 7th at the Hockenheim, 8th at Spa. Gonna have to see what Louis Foster has here. The fastest laps in the first groups in round 1 were in below 108s. Right now, Nolan Siegel tracking a little bit faster than the number 10. 110.5 is his first lap. Draconi 113.3. Nolan Siegel going into the chicane. And coming down the front stretch, let's see where this compares to the number 10. It will be faster, 109.7. Justin Allgaier, 110.0. May have got held up a little bit by the 18. Robbie Lohr. Hubbard gonna put it in 4th, 112.2. Van Gisbergen not tracking to first in any of his sectors. Louis Foster looking very good in his lap. Someone just took his first sector. Van Gisbergen, however, will go to the top, 109.2. And Foster gonna be just a bit slower, 109.5. Coney will go a bit quicker here as Foster's gone off track. Connor Zilic gonna come to the line, 110.1. That's gonna put him 5th. Right now, Hubbard, time to beat, 112.2. Here comes Ryan Preece. That's going to put him on the cut line with 111.3. Nolan Siegel and Marcus Armstrong side by side. Allgaier goes second. He's trying to make it yet another Fast 6 appearance. Chet Jordan only goes 5th. Looking for a bit more. Robbie gonna go 10th. Hubbard gonna bump up to 7th, but still behind his teammate. Guy Gagne to the line. Where's he gonna go? Only the 9th. Van Gisbergen gonna go first lap in the 107s, 107.9. Gonna have to see how everyone responds. Marcus Armstrong, the only car without a lap so far. Draconi gonna go quicker, but still down in 10th. Zilich on the cut line, trying to go faster, and this one's gonna go to 2nd, 108.7. Louis Foster comes in. Ryan Preece looking to bump out Chet Jordan here to the line. It's the fastest final sector, and that's gonna bump him to 6th. Armstrong, however, is gonna bump out the 64 as he goes 5th with a 109.6. Chet Jordan now trying to bump Nolan Siegel, and he does. He goes 3rd. Robbie Lohr, first round 2 appearance in quite a while. He's going to go to 11th right there. Gagne right now has the number 1 of Shane Van Gisbergen behind. Gagne wants another fast 6 appearance. This one's going to bump up to 9th. Still a little ways out. Right now the bubble times are very close. Armstrong, the last car in, 109.6. Nolan Siegel already on an outlap. He's trying to get into the fast 6. He's going to come around the final turn, and he's going to enter the pits. Armstrong on a good lap here. And this one's going to be a low 108. 108.2. Him and his front row buddy on the provisional front row right now. Robbie gonna come around the final turn, just looking for a little bit more. Not gonna happen on that lap. He's gonna stay at 11th. Here comes the number 90 of Guy Gagne. Clip the grass a little bit. He's gonna come into the pits. Looked a little unstable there. Right now, Nolan Siegel, 2 tenths out on Louis Foster. Ryan Preece not far off either. 8:45, this is when you want to be out of the pits. And a lot of the guys right around the bubble have come back out or have already started their runs. Armstrong gonna come in here. He's pretty safe. He is over a second above the cut line. Robbie Lohr, I believe, is probably going to come in this time, but right now Nolan Siegel tracking to the good. Down there in 7th, trying to make it the classic Fast 6 with both Silly Men racing cars, 2 Viking racing cars, and 2 Swindlers cars. Justin Allgaier currently not going quicker. Time about to expire. You got to get to the line here. Ryan Preece and Louis Foster gonna be a bit close. Preece gonna get another lap, and I believe so will Foster. Checkered flag as Siegel crosses the line and goes 5th. Allgaier in the dirt. He's not gonna be able to defend himself. His run is over. He is under threat of being bumped by either Preece or Foster, but Preece has a car directly in front of him. Number 9 of Connor Zilich, he is in 3rd. And he is being a real problem for these guys, and I don't think they're going to be able to advance. This does help teammate Nolan Siegel, who sits 5th on the bubble, but this is going to save Justin Allgaier, as that was a real big problem for these guys, and they're not going to, yeah, these laps are not going to be good. So once again, Foster and Priest gonna miss out right there, as your car's advancing, led by Van Gisbergen and Marcus Armstrong as usual once again. And then Connor Zilic, he's not going to have some guys happy at him. He's going to be 3rd. Chet Jordan going to take it 4th. And then Nolan Siegel and Justin Allgaier going to be the last 2 cars that advance, benefiting from the number 9's shenanigans. Louis Foster starting 7th once again. Brian Priest starting 8th once again. Places they're very accustomed to this season. Guy Gagné will be starting 9th. Brennan Hubbard in 10th. Robbie Lohr with his best qualifying effort in quite some time in 11th. And then Francesco Draconi rounding out the top 12 as he'll be starting in 12th. So that is it for round 2. We'll be back in just a moment for your Fast 6. So your Fast 6 gonna be your usual suspects once again. Shane Van Gisbergen, Connor Zilic, Justin Allgaier, Nolan Siegel, Chet Jordan, and Marcus Armstrong. Will we have a new pole sitter today? Or will the 33 get 3 straight? Will Shane Van Gisbergen return to the pole to try to extend his points lead? A lot to be determined. As Connor Zilic going to be the first car out. Right now, Zilich and Van Gisbergen, the only two cars out on track. As Zilich going to hit the line and begin his qualifying run. No poles so far this season. Got 3 poles last season. One at Iowa, one at Summit Point, and one at Portland. Should have gotten his second career victory at Spa, but came in on the last lap to pit. Therefore, it didn't happen. First sector for Zilich in the pink. Gonna have to see how Van Gisbergen compares. Not as good in the first sector. So right now the number 9 looking quicker. Coming around the final turn. Let's see what his time is. 110.5. The number 1 gonna steal his second sector pink. As a lot of the cars are pretty close together. Gonna have to see where Van Gisbergen goes on the timesheets. 110.5 time to beat. He pulled out a 1:17. Is this sector just going to be a bit, well, this lap just going to be a bit quicker, only about 100th quicker. Connor Zilich, pink in the first sector, so he is going quicker. Is it good enough, though? Van Gisbergen going to snatch the pink in the first sector, which does mean he's going quicker once again. Armstrong not pink in the first sector. Allgaier and Siegel kind of holding each other up. You can see on the track map. Here comes Zilich, just looking for a little bit more. And this one's going to be just a little bit slower. Viking Racing 1 pole this season came at the Indy 300 with Romain Grosjean. As here comes Shane Van Gisbergen. This looks to be a good lap. And this one is much quicker, 108.3, which is going to blow up the number 9's lap. Armstrong going to be only about a second off, 109.3, but can he close in? Jet Jordan only going to go to 4th here. Allgaier coming out of the final turn. He's going to go 5th. Siegel going to go 5th, actually. Just a little bit quicker. Right now, all of 6 cars pretty spread apart on the timing tower. Armstrong looking quicker, but no pink sectors. Zilich and Van Gisbergen don't look as good. As Zilich going to come in this time. Van Gisbergen turns another pink sector. Armstrong going to take that. Looking for 3 in a row. This would be the 5th in the season for Armstrong. Van Gisbergen comes in here. Let's see what Armstrong has. Coming around to the line. Looking to close back in this championship fight. And this lap is going to go to the top, 108.0. Jet Jordan going to try and close in here. Maybe get onto the front row once again. Not quite front row, but good enough for 3rd. Justin Allgaier and Nolan Siegel back here in 5th and 6th. Siegel stays 5th, Allgaier stays 6th, but they both go quicker. Nobody out there, so if everything stays as is, Armstrong will have 3 consecutive poles, but he has not been able to convert any of them. Only 1 pole this season. He's brought Allgaier looks to be going a little bit quicker, but the 33 and 24 not going any quicker. As the 33 comes in, checkered flag. Gonna come out here. I believe everyone will be on an in lap. As these two gonna come to the line, they're actually gonna finish their laps, but neither of them are quicker. So the 33 of Marcus Armstrong gets another pole. So your provisional starting grid, row 1, once again going to be Armstrong and Van Gisbergen. Go together like salt and pepper. Row 2, going to be Chet Jordan leading Connor Zilich. Row 3 will be Nolan Siegel and Justin Allgaier. Siegel may have been held up a little bit by Allgaier. Row 4, going to be another classic pairing, Louis Foster and Ryan Priest. As row 5, going to be Viking Racing teammates, Guy Gagné and Brennan Hubbard. Row 6, going to be Robbie Lohr and Francesco Draconi. And then row 7, going to be Alessio Daletta and Stingray Robb. Row 8, going to be Lindsey Brewer and Carlos Huertas. As back to row 9 will be Mahavir Raghunathan and Ethan Martz. Row 10 will be David Malukas coming off his first podium of the season and Miles Rowe. And then row 11 will be Lawless Allen and Devlin DeFrancesco. Row 12, a pretty surprising pair up will be the 29 of Benjamin Peterson and the 43 of Dorian Pinn, going to be starting deep in the field. Row 13, going to be Globler Lohr and Dawa Tenzin. Then rounding out the field in row 14 will be the 95 of Nico Hulkenberg and the 53 of Tinkle McStinkle. So that is it for qualifying here at Zandvoort. Race will be tomorrow. Might be a bit early, might be noon-ish. But if Spa was an indicator, this will be a pretty interesting race once again. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.